Hey guys, it's Dancin Dave. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not dancing. This is my third day or so of being in the USA, and I'm sick like a dog. Been this way for 3 days. Basically, coming from a warm weather environment into a cold weather environment like the USA, where I am now, my body has to adapt from a hot weather condition to a cold weather condition, and I always end up getting sick for days at a time while everything, you know, works itself out. The problem is that it's going to happen again in about a week when I head to the Philippines and go from cold weather back to hot weather. And you guys are having some really hot weather right now. I recall it being around 40, 41 degrees Celsius. So it's not going to be fun. So I'm expecting my first 2 or 3 or maybe 4 days in the country just miserable. But worth it. So just wanted to excuse me. Wanted to introduce myself. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome to my web page and my TikTok and my Instagram and my shorts and my Facebook. Because I'm trying to cover all the bases. Basically, what the goal is to turn YouTube back to YouTube and away from what it's become, which I believe has become MeTube. I look at all of the content creators in the Philippines, all of the expats, even the majority of the Filipino content creators, and overwhelmingly what I see, and granted this might just be because, I'm coming from the point of view of a foreigner, so perhaps I'm being fed channels that are specific to foreigners rather than specific to the folks that actually live there. But what I see is that overwhelmingly, a whole lot of the channels are aimed at foreign markets. They're aimed at the U.S., at Canada, at Australia. And instead of being YouTube, they're MeTube. It's somebody doing literally what I'm doing now. Put a camera up on a table, face the camera, talk about yourself, your situation, talk about the cost of living in the Philippines, or some restaurant that you've been to, or how much you liked a mall, or things like that, or sometimes even going out and about in the community. Sometimes, walking down the street and meeting people and talking to people and interacting with them for a few moments, and then possibly giving them the name of your YouTube channel so that they can go find themselves for those few seconds that they will show up on camera. The problem I have with this is that it's me tube. It's all about me and how I interact with the population around me, with the country around me, with all of the wonders of the Philippines around me. And I feel like that's kind of going the wrong direction. So what I want to do with the Dancin Dave channel is I want to reintroduce the concept of YouTube. What I want to do is go into the community, and instead of me interacting with restaurants and waterfalls and malls and people and using them as effectively props to show off me and tell my story, instead I want to go into the community and tell your story. I want to make it YouTube again. Am I going to be there? Yeah, because I'm going to be doing interviews. But it's not interviews about me, it's interviews about you. And it's going to be interviews not about 2 or 3 or 5 of you, but it's going to be interviews about thousands of you, as many of you as I can possibly interview. My intention is to go to every barangay in Cagayan and interview people that live in that barangay. Talk to business owners, talk to the people on the street, talk to people walking their dogs, find out who you are, find out what you want, what your dreams are, what your passions are, what you're afraid of, what you desire in life. I want to tell your story instead of telling my story and simply using you as a backdrop or a prop for that. I think it's time that someone did that, and I think I can. So, I was told by some friends that had been wonderful in supporting this venture so far, that I should start recording the journey even before I arrive. Yes, including being sick. So I'm going to try to throw down a recording every couple of days, possibly every day if I can swing it. But there's still a lot to do, even here in the U.S., before I can go on an airplane and arrive. And well, I'm sick, so probably not me at my best. Some of you probably don't recognize me, but in Cagayan, some of you probably will over a relatively short period of time. I was last there in August, I think. So just 6-7 months ago, and I'm the guy that would frequent various dance clubs, for the boys and Virtue in Uptown, and I always wear a fedora. Everybody likes to call me Michael Jackson because of the hat and the dancing. And this whole thing got started actually because I was leaving Virtue one night at probably 1:30 in the morning. I was alone. I just got out to go dancing because that's what I do. I'm Dancin Dave. And as I was heading down the escalator in the mall, this woman was coming up the escalator with her group, and she started screaming and pointing at me, and she said, "Hey, you're that guy, you're that dancing guy. You're TikTok famous." Well, I didn't know what she was talking about. I mean, every time I had gone out dancing, I always saw lots of people with their phones out, like taking videos of me and stuff. But I had no idea what it was for. I didn't know if they were making videos to say, "Hey, look at this stupid Cano, and what an idiot, and he looks drunk," or whatever. But apparently that's not what was happening. Apparently, at least some folks were sharing videos saying, I guess, "Wow, this guy can really dance." Apparently enough folks were saying enough good things about me that I actually got recognized in the mall on the escalator, walking down the street as that dancing guy, that TikTok famous guy. So it occurred to me that when I come back to the Philippines this time, I should take charge of that. I should take control of the narrative of the fact that apparently people like how I dance and that I'm TikTok famous. And there's 2 ways to do that. I can toot my own horn. I can take that fame, take that notoriety, and I can, try to make the most of it and make myself, try to make myself more famous. Or I can do what I plan on doing, which is take that notoriety and do my best to make all of you famous. Instead of telling my story, I want to tell your story. I want to show that you matter, that you count, that you're not just cogs in a machine, that you're not just people getting up every morning and going to work and coming home and taking care of your families and and then you get up the next morning and you do it again. You matter. You're not invisible. I see you. And I want to show everybody that your lives matter, that your lives make a difference. I want to show everybody who you are. So, I don't know, maybe the whole thing will crash and burn. Maybe everyone will look at me like I'm stupid and no one will want to participate and no one will want to tell their story. I don't know. But I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that what little bit of notoriety that I have, what little bit of popularity that Dancin Dave can manage to pull together can turn into a whole lot of people getting a chance to tell their stories, and a whole lot more people getting a chance to see those stories and realize that we're not alone, we're not so different from each other, and that we're in this together. Even me, even as a foreigner. It's easy for me to come from the outside and say, oh, hey, I'm gonna do a National Geographic, I'm gonna do a documentary or whatnot, but it's not like that. The idea is that I'm gonna be with you, telling your story in your environment, in your neighborhood, you know, being a part of the community. I grew to love Cagayan when I was there before, which is why I'm coming back. I really like the town, and I believe that the city can honestly be the jewel of northern Mindanao, and I believe that that sort of thing starts with telling the story of the people that live there. It starts with making all of you matter, making all of you count, making your opinions count, making your dreams and ambitions and your fears and your goals and what you want for your children and your parents and yourself, making all of that matter and telling all those stories. So hopefully you'll see the same thing. Hopefully you'll want that same result, and that you'll support me and work with me on this journey to tell your story. Because it's really not about me. It's about thousands upon thousands of you. And I want to tell all of those stories and put all of them up on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram, and just, get the word out. Get the word out that this city matters and that the people in this city matter.